My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read my writing, to see my latest CNN appearances, and my MSNBC appearance from last year, you can go to hagoodman.com. In this segment, we're going to talk about why Bernie Sanders is going to win the upcoming contested Democratic convention, and why he'll defeat Clinton, and why Bernie Sanders will become America's 45th president. Now, number one, if you think that's hyperbole, or if you think I'm crazy or nuts or whatever, ask yourself if you thought that Bernie Sanders could force a contested Democratic convention at this point in the primary. Nobody predicted this. The polling experts never thought this was possible. The American political establishment never, ever imagined this. I've been saying that he's going to be president for a long time, since last year. Most other people never imagined Bernie being here at this point. The reason I'm saying all of this is that he's forced a contested Democratic convention. He will win. He's proved everyone wrong thus far, and he will continue to do so. A big reason, number one, is polls. If you look at the polls within the nationally within the Democratic primary, Bernie Sanders is only 4.9 points behind Hillary Clinton. He was at less than 2 points behind Clinton not long ago. The 4.9 points takes into account the fact recent primary wins for Clinton. But even with those recent wins, 4.9 points is not that far away from Clinton when you consider the fact that she had a 50-point lead over Bernie. Clinton lost leads over Obama and Bernie Sanders of over 50 points. Hillary Clinton does not keep polling leads. Superdelegates know this. The contested Democratic convention is not about delegate count. It's about who can defeat a GOP nominee, who can defeat Trump, who can beat Trump. Right now, Clinton and Bernie Sanders are almost tied nationally. Bernie will very likely surpass her by July, especially when the FBI discloses its findings. And then you also take into account that Bernie Sanders defeats Donald Trump by a wider margin than Clinton. He defeats Donald Trump by 13.6 points. Clinton only defeats Trump by 6.7 points. This whole issue of Sanders being less vetted is ridiculous. He's not drawn to controversy. He's not drawn to scandal, and he doesn't need a private server. He doesn't need to hide any transcripts to Wall Street, speech transcripts to Wall Street. And I'll talk about that in a little while. So number one, in terms of polls, superdelegates know that Clinton can't hold a polling lead. Superdelegates also know that Bernie Sanders has gone from nothing to now forcing a contested convention. He takes that into the general election, Bernie does, and he defeats anyone. If the Democratic Party is stupid enough, and if the superdelegates and delegates are so frightened of Clinton that they side with Clinton, they're going to lose to Trump or to another GOP challenger. I believe the superdelegates know this, and I believe they'll side with Bernie. So number one, the polls show that Bernie will win a contested Democratic convention because this is not about poll numbers. This is about who can beat a Republican, and this is about Clinton's FBI investigation. We'll get to that. Number two, I wrote an article today in the Huffington Post that talks about why Clinton should face and will likely face Espionage Act indictments. Why? Because under the Espionage Act, you can be prosecuted for gross negligence, which describes Clinton's decision-making on foreign policy issues like Iraq, but also perfectly describes the reason she owned a private server. So when Hillary supporters, when loyal Democrats and loyal Hillary supporters hear about emails, they think it's just like you're typing an email to a friend. There is no reason why Hillary Clinton owned a private server as a government official. She stated it was convenience as an overt lie. We know it wasn't convenience. There was a political motive. Any political motive other than convenience, and then boom, you've broken laws under the Espionage Act and other laws. But let's say it was just convenience. and you're just so negligent, and you know, the way you would describe it would be gross negligence. So she was just so careless, and President that's the word President Obama used, carelessness, that she just didn't know that she could possibly jeopardize 22 top secret emails, or that she might have deleted one email within the 30,000 that she deleted. One email that, if there's only one email, one government email in the 30,000 emails that Clinton deleted, that's also a crime under the Espionage Act. So in terms of gross negligence, and in terms of destruction of government records or intelligence, you can be prosecuted under the Espionage Act. Okay, so that's number two, the FBI. And that, I mean, there's cloud servers. There's a Romanian hacker who hacked into one of Clinton's friends' emails. Whole bunch of other things. Okay, this isn't going to be pretty, and it's probably going to sink the campaign, Clinton's campaign, very soon, and hand the Democratic nomination of Bernie Sanders. And if it doesn't, that'll show how corrupt the Democratic Party or Democratic National Committee is for trying to further or trying to push a candidate who either faces indictment, or the top aides face indictments, or best case scenario, the FBI says, well, you jeopardize national security, but we can't prosecute you. That's the best case scenario. And that will also hurt poll numbers. That will also hurt electability. Number three, voter suppression, voter fraud, a rigged system, rigged debate schedules. Look, whether you think that this was fair, that the Democratic primaries were fair, that Clinton played by the rules, at this point is irrelevant. Millions and millions and millions of people believe that there was foul play. Millions of people believe that the system was structured to favor Hillary Clinton and hurt Bernie Sanders. If after everything Bernie's accomplished, and if after all millions and millions and millions of people who have done so much from a grassroots level to support Bernie Sanders to get him to this point, if the Democratic National Committee, or if the superdelegates and delegates within the Democratic Party elect Clinton, you'll definitely have a political revolt, okay, a political mutiny. We already have about 25 to 33% of Bernie supporters who will never, ever, 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 ever vote for Hillary Clinton, ever. Even if Trump is in the White House, they won't vote for Clinton. So if you have, after everything Bernie's accomplished, and with the shadow of the perception, even the perception of voter fraud and foul play and dirty tricks, you're looking at a mutiny. So that's what you're looking at, superdelegates. That's number three. Number four, Bernie Sanders has been able to achieve the impossible within 1 year, as he was an independent his whole life. He's now a Democratic candidate. He has achieved something within 1 year that Hillary Clinton has spent her entire career trying to achieve. Okay, she's a Democratic icon. She's the most powerful person in the Democratic Party. The momentum that Bernie has built, number four, that's a huge issue. You stop that momentum at the contested Democratic convention, not good for the general election. Okay, so even more Bernie Sanders supporters won't vote. The future of the Democratic Party is at stake, because now you have younger voters, millennials, and people in high school, kids in high school, who will say, you know what, Bernie Sanders inspired me. He's done so much. He should be the nominee. The system is rigged. The game is rigged. And they won't be as involved. So in terms of the future of the Democratic Party, the future is at stake. Superdelegates and delegates know this. Number five, I touched upon this general election. You want somebody who can defeat Trump. Bernie Sanders defeats Trump and every other Republican by a wider margin than Hillary Clinton. It has nothing to do with being vetted. Number 6 or 7, the issue of being vetted. Well, you know, Clinton is just, you know, more people know more about Clinton than they do about Bernie. Actually, once you know anything about Bernie, you like him. You might disagree with his policies, but you know he's honest. He's principled and he has a value system. The more you know about Hillary Clinton, the more you ask why she can't disclose a transcript of a speech to Wall Street. And the more you ask, why on earth did this person need a private server as Secretary of State? Why couldn't she just use a state.gov email like every other Secretary of State? You ask questions. Once you ask questions about Hillary Clinton or her decision-making, game over. You don't vote for Clinton, you vote for her challenger, which is why Obama won in 2008, and which is why Bernie Sanders will win in 2016. The next issue is name recognition. Bernie has it now. Clinton always had it. Same thing with Obama in 2008. Once he had name recognition, he won. So in terms of name recognition polls, he'll surpass Clinton by July, especially when the FBI discloses its findings. That'll be huge. In the contested Democratic convention, superdelegates and delegates will eventually side with Bernie because not only will he beat Trump by a wider margin, not only is there this entire movement behind Bernie, but the country will know who Bernie Sanders is. Okay? Once that takes place, Clinton's primary advantage is erased. The last couple things, favorability. You better if Clinton is the nominee, you better hope Trump is the challenger, because any other challenger will have equal or better favorability. Okay. Bernie Sanders is the only candidate in 2016, Republican or Democrat, with positive favorability numbers. People like and respect him and trust him. The majority of Americans don't trust Clinton. They don't like Clinton. That's not my opinion. Even Obama said that in 2008. He said, "You're likable enough, Hillary," and he got in trouble for saying that in the media. But Clinton had the same problem in 2008 as she has now. The likability factor. People just don't like Clinton. Generally, in the Democratic Party, yeah, Hillary supported, yeah, she's so admired, all that stuff, whatever. In terms of nationally, American women find Clinton not honest and trustworthy. The majority so over 50%, one Quinnipiac poll cites, I believe, 64% of American women. Over 60%. I have to find the exact number of American women. But generally, over 50% of American women find Clinton not honest and trustworthy. That says something. Last thing is this. Level of passion, energy, excitement. Bernie Sanders gives the Democratic Party what it's lacking with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton runs upon the allure of political power. In a contested Democratic convention, you need excitement. You need passion and energy. Everything is fabricated with Clinton. You can't, and there's no, even supporters say, well, I wish she was more inspirational. There's nothing inspirational with Hillary Clinton. There's everything inspirational with Bernie Sanders. That might have been 10, 11, or 9, I'm not sure, but these are the reasons why Bernie Sanders will win a contested Democratic convention. I am only voting for Bernie Sanders in 2016. He's proved you wrong thus far, loyal Hillary supporters or cynics or naysayers and critics. He'll continue to prove you wrong. Bernie Sanders will become president. He'll win the contested Democratic convention. And I am only voting for Bernie Sanders in 2016. Millions of people are only voting for Bernie. And thank you so much for listening.